Hey, it's Lurk from Lambgoat. Thanks for checking out this episode of the podcast. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel and you hit that notification bell so you're notified when we release new episodes. Drop us a like on this video, and if you don't mind, give us a comment on what you thought of the video or who we should have on the podcast. Make sure you follow us and our guest on social media. All those links are in the description below. Also, I want to go ahead and say thank you and shout out all of our Patreon supporters for this month. JC, Alec, Jeff, Lachlan, and Dylan. Thank you for supporting the podcast. We very much appreciate it. Not only do our Patreon supporters get early access to all of our episodes, but you get a little bit of swag from Lambgoat and the Vanflip. This month, we're giving away Internal Incarceration by Year of the Knife on vinyl. So if you're a Patreon supporter, you're automatically entered to win this, and we will hold the contest at the end of the month. So go ahead and join if you're not a Patreon supporter, and we look forward to seeing you. What's up, guys? How you doing?
Hey.
How's it going, man?
We're sitting here with
Curses.
Oh, yeah, we're Curses.
Oh, yeah.
Eli and Eli and
I think we're Curses.
We're part of Curses.
Well, that's all
Kinda.
good. But
I'm Eli Fry.
I'm Shane Cyrus, the
All right.
drummer. And
Eli
vocalist.
and Shane, vocalist
Yeah, we
and
count
drummer.
as members.
Curses. And you know, when I was looking up stuff about you guys, I found that there were some other Curses that were bands or artists or DJs or whatever. So does it get confusing when people are, you know, trying to search for you or trying to learn about you guys where there's not that much, you know, that they can find easily?
Yeah, sometimes, especially when we first started with the name, there was several confusions because there was no active artist named Curses. The only one we could find on Facebook, their last post was like 5 years ago. So we were like, okay, I think this is safe, and we solidified the trademark. That was one of the first things we did, was made the name legally ours, and then along the way, other Curses just have kind of showed up, and there has been some confusion, especially on Spotify, because, you know, when you use TuneCore or some outlet for Spotify, it doesn't check to make sure
Right.
it's the right Curses or the right artist name. So
Yeah, and it definitely
we've had some DJ Curses show up before. There is I think he's a European DJ, so our American trademark doesn't count.
Right.
So.
Yeah, we've got Spotify pretty squared away, though. We're having a lot of trouble with Apple Music. Did we ever get that fixed?
And there's two different Curses on Apple Music. Our Party Monster cover we did is on its own Curses artist page still, and we're still trying to email their bots that they have and get that fixed. But Amazon is still kind of messed up right now too. The new Amazon Music platform.
Right, yeah. You know, it does.
We've got a lot of Curses that I've never heard of on our page. We're getting the streams for, but it's not us.
Yeah, it's definitely hard and difficult once you upload something like, say, through TuneCore or CD Baby or whatever kind of distribution platform you're using, to like fix any of those errors. You know, because like I've got some stuff on Spotify as well. A friend of mine also had some stuff uploaded to Spotify under his, you know, artist name or whatever, but it was also like a Spanish kind of like merengue salsa artist. So it took him like 2 years of going back and forth with whomever to finally separate the two. And I mean, it was the same name, but like there was a space in between a word or something like that.
Difference.
Yeah. So it was very, very difficult. So yeah, I can
Spotify
agree.
especially has tricked me sometimes, where they have their release radar playlist where if you follow that band or artist, they will show you the new material that just came out on this pre-made playlist. And I've had band names pop up where it's actually some DJ somewhere. Yeah. And I've seen other bands have the same problem. Like, it happened to me about a month ago with Barrier.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard of the band Barrier, but I follow them. I have on Spotify, and it said new Barrier song on your release radar. Check it out. And then I went to look, and it was some like indie future pop artist.
Yeah,
and I was like, this is not Barrier.
Because the Metal Barrier is not even a band anymore.
Yeah, that's what confused me. I was like, is Barrier back? Like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I bet that was a letdown.
Yeah, it hit me pretty hard.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult, especially you know, when bands come and go as easily as they do sometimes in this scene. It's hard to keep up with all the names or what names have been taken in general.
Yeah.
But speaking of new material, you guys basically released an album earlier this month through Sharptone, and it was it's like your second, I believe it's your second full-length album that I could find. and it's titled Bloom. I know it's like some number chapter 2 Bloom. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
That's the full name?
Yeah. Like whenever we all started playing together, like years and years before Curses even formed, there was just a lot of member changes, and we were in different bands and stuff. And when Curses finally came together, and we were like, okay, well, let's add like kind of a theme to it. That might be kind of cool. It's something a little bit different. And we were like, we wanted to call them chapters. So yeah, like, I mean, ever since we've been Curses, we had chapter 1 Introspect in 2017 that released. It should have been, honestly, that should have been released in like late 2014 or 2015. But that's a whole other conversation. And then, it's just early August we released Bloom, and it's been doing really well. We're stoked on it, and we still got more content coming on the way. We just released a guitar playthrough. It's about to come out, and the Change drum playthrough just aired like a couple weeks ago, and then all the other streaming videos and the music videos that we put out. I'm just trying to keep content rolling since we can't really play shows right now.
Yeah, it's tough out there right now. Is that something that's on like a YouTube page, or is that through your website or a paywall or like Sharptone or?
It's all on Sharptone's YouTube.
On there, all the videos are on their YouTube.
Do you guys get any kind of kickback for that kind of stuff when it's like, say, like, granted this is just being facetious, but say you get like a million hits on your drum playthrough or something like that. Do you get any kind of kickback from that through Sharptone, or is that just like for the love?
Well, just the way that we have our deal with Sharptone right now, it's just basically they helped us out a lot, so we're going to be helping them out until we meet that quota, I guess.
Yeah, pay that debt off.
Basically.
Yeah, no, I get it. Everyone goes through the same rigmarole. So before we get too far, I kind of want to jump back a little bit, like we were just talking about how the band got together, just because. There's not a lot of interviews out that, I mean, there could be. I just couldn't find any in the last couple, days, weeks here. So just to kind of give everybody an idea of like how you guys came together. You all live in a house right now. Do you guys still reside in West Virginia?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
So you
Princeton, West Virginia now.
Nice. So is it an upgrade or a downgrade from where you were prior?
A little bit of both.
I don't want to speak for all of us, but I feel like it's an upgrade. Everybody had a situation where we needed to move somewhere kind of at the same time. It all kind of synced up, and we were like, well, we found this house just in time. Well, great deal. We just kind of threw it together and made it happen.
Yeah, it's great.
I'd call it an upgrade.
Yeah, because we've all moved around like for the past like 6 or 7 years probably. We've all like we've all lived in like 3 or 4 different places, like for each of us, and then now like because we've talked about having a band house before, and like this, we finally found a landlord that will let a band live together, and and we got 5 dogs in the house and a cat, and a bearded dragon. So like it's hard to find a landlord that's cool with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, shout out to the landlord right now, because that is a lot going on.
Yeah, but like back to what you were saying, like I mean, it was an upgrade overall, because we're really happy where we're at now.
And so how long have you been living there, and how long have you guys not necessarily living there, but how long before you guys, got together were you doing other things? Like previous bands and whatnot, projects and stuff.
Let's see, Shane, you go ahead, because you started when you were 14. I didn't know you whenever y'all started.
I played music with Davey for probably the longest time, like since I even started trying to drum, which was around 2009, 2010. It's hard to think that far back now, but
yeah, it's a decade.
We played with we would put together some small local bands, and then I think we picked up Michael and Brandon. Everybody kind of came from different regions and different musical backgrounds, and we kind of had to sift out other people to find each other.
Yeah, bands playing with other bands, and then like
I don't know,
people that you fuck with, and it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna stay in touch with these people, and then just slowly started coming along, I guess. And then whenever I knew Brandon. Before I'd even heard of, before I knew any of these guys, and Brandon joined a band that they were in, and I was like, oh, cool, my good buddy Brandon just joined a new band, I'm going to check him out, and then I would start going to shows and stuff, and then eventually I hopped along too, and that's basically it. Like
It was a long
we
process.
gained and lost a couple members along the way, but like nothing with ending on bad terms or anything like that.
Yeah, we don't have a bad band member story.
Yeah, not really, thankfully.
Yeah, thankfully.
But then, yeah, whenever it came together to the 5 of us and we were like really wanted to solidify it, and we were like, okay, well, let's change our name. Let's rebrand ourselves, come up with something totally new, and just hit it as hard as we can, really.
Chapter 1. That's
and then
that's
Chapter
what
1 came
influenced
out.
that the most.
So have you guys always lived in West Virginia?
Michael lived in.
Are you all met within West Virginia? Like you're formed there?
Yeah, the local scenes that we were all affiliated with were in West Virginia, and then it's like Michael lived in Virginia, but it was literally like right at the border, basically like maybe half an hour from the border.
I gotcha. What's the West Virginia is a weird place to have a band come from for the most part, especially I shouldn't say a band because obviously there's a lot of music that does come out of that area, but I guess like a heavier type band. It's kind of rare that happens.
It's slim pickings.
Especially recently, it's
Yeah,
not a lot of heavy
I
around
could
here.
understand that. I mean, but I think the heavy scene is coming back. You know, I think there was a lull for a couple of years. Where you guys are at in your state, you may be ahead or behind. You know, fads or trends. I'm in Florida, but my area of Florida is slightly behind, say like Orlando or Tampa or Miami. So we're not up to date as they are, but we're a little further along than some other places in Georgia or something,
Yeah,
Right.
It's changing still. I feel like the scene, it comes and goes in waves in a lot of places. Like you'll get hit with a lot of awesome bands in this Tri-Cities area or something, and then things might die out, they might not, but they always come back.
So
There's always something.
So what is the scene like for you guys when you're starting out, like in West Virginia? Like, just explain to anyone that is curious as to how that is, because I assume it's more rural, small town kind of vibes out there. So
Yeah. A lot of our shows back in the day were playing in community centers and recreation centers, and basically just anywhere that we could rent out and do. Because any venues that were skate parks, any venues around here, like if you're not playing bluegrass or whatever else, then you can kick rocks.
I would understand that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but there's a lot of really good music that's come out of West Virginia, but it's been short-lived bands all the time. Like I could go on forever naming bands that we've played with or bands that I knew growing up or lived around or whatever that I loved and were awesome, but it came to an end for them. And there's still like a lot of really good music in West Virginia. There's a lot of really good bands. They just don't get the exposure that they should, honestly. And honestly, there's different like sectors. I mean, I'm sure it's like this with every state, but like it's mostly small towns. There's a few what we call cities in West Virginia. For you guys, it would probably be called towns, but for us, they're cities. And it's just everywhere's a little bit different. Like I said, it's probably like that in every state. But like up in northern West Virginia, there's Morgantown, which is where West Virginia University is, WVU. Yeah. And there's a lot of really good bands up there, but that's 5 hours from us, so we really don't cross paths with those guys too much. Right. When we do, it's awesome, and there's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of talent up there. And then down here, there's a variety of stuff. Like there's our buddies Fams and the Hooligans. Like Fams was a rapper, and then he added instruments to the mix. So like they're still kind of they're like a new metal kind of thing. And they're really good. They're doing some awesome stuff. And there's a lot. And there's, like I said, there's just a lot of variety. But the only thing that sucks about the scene around here is kind of like I mentioned earlier, there's still not a lot of places to play.
Right.
Like there's been waves where we've got like a set of like 5 solid venues that will travel around West Virginia or like southeast or southwestern Virginia. And play, and it'll just come in waves. Like there'll be a bunch of good venues, and then they'll get shut down.
They kind of all die out at once.
Yeah, and that's really what we're in the middle of right now. Like there was like 4 good places within like 2 hours of playing, and they all got shut down like in the same like 6 month span, which really sucks because they were awesome places, and the scene was getting built back up in many genres, not even just metal. These were places that supported whatever, and
just
like
venues in music venues in general. Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks right now, especially with COVID too.
I was about to say that was kind of happening right before the pandemic even started.
Yeah.
So right before I had a chance to hope that these would pick back up, the wave would come back, everything hit, and obviously, everything was shut down for the longest time and all that. But now I'm waiting. Once everything picks back up, whenever that may happen, I'm just hoping we'll still catch that wave back up. And
it's definitely a very difficult time right now, and that's why I was wondering when you're saying the venues were closing and blah blah blah, etc. Was it due to the pandemic and just the lack of resources that the venue could stay open with? But sounds like it was kind of already on the lull beforehand.
Yeah, so. I'd say the pandemic
it actually had nothing to do with COVID.
Yeah, that might have dealt like the final blow was probably dealt by that to some of these venues, but it was already kind of happening like towards the end of last year. Right as we were planning our release, we were like, where should we go with this? This was back when we were still able to plan an album release tour, which we kind of had to
scrap.
Put on the back burner for now.
Yeah, that is a total bummer. So speaking of your music and stuff like that, you guys are kind of one of the quote unquote newer metalcore styled bands, although you do have quite a few different influences that come out in the music, the musical styles that you guys play. What would you guys consider yourself? Like, are you a full on like just basic metalcore band, or are you a new metalcore band, or like a gent metalcore? Because there's some gent in there, and there's this and that, and I'm surprised there's not really a lot of country vibes in the music, with you guys being from like an area that is pretty well known for that kind of like back.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to think about.
Yeah, like I went to the same college as what's his fucking name? Brad Paisley.
Okay, yeah.
Brad Paisley recorded one of his albums at the college that I went to. And but yeah, like I mean, we really aren't huge country fans. Like we've got like our select songs and artists that we're like, yeah, that's cool, but it's not really something we listen to on a regular basis, so it doesn't really take much.
We get down to some classic old country sometimes.
Yeah,
it's got to be the right artist. We're very selective with our country.
Yeah, if it's like Travis Tritt or something, then we'll get down to it. Maybe a little Alan Jackson every now and again.
That's like old stuff. I guess. I guess mainly I was thinking of like Southern rock, but I didn't want to say Southern rock, like the twangy kind of like a Maylene kind of vibe, Maylene and the Sons of Disaster kind of vibe.
Almost an early Attila or something.
Yeah, I don't really like, I mean, me personally, like, I don't know what defines some genres over others. Like, I don't get it. I'm just like, okay, well, I mean, like, yeah, we're a metalcore band, but I don't think that we really. I mean,
I don't think about that when we're making a song.
Right.
Okay, this is the genre of this album and the song. It kind of just comes together, and I'm like, well, what would you even call this? Then afterwards, I have to think about like, what genre would we classify? And with the new album, especially, it's almost like each song kind of blends into a different genre or subgenre, to where it's really hard for me to label.
Yeah, I mean, you guys definitely do.
It's always hard.
You guys definitely have like different elements, like we were talking about, and you're a band that also. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you at one point had two singers, so I assume you still have two vocalist singers, right?
Yep.
Okay. And
one of them.
Yeah, we've got one here. The one is in the other room somewhere, I'm sure. But what was the mindset of having two different vocalists? Was it one for like heavier kind of screams and stuff like that, and guttural noises, or what? And then one for like a cleaner sound, or like a more melodic sound, or how did that come about?
Like whenever I first heard of the band, like I said earlier, when Brandon joined the band, like one of the bands before we were Curses, Brandon did the low screams, and then the other guy did high screams and the clean singing, which is what I do now, because originally I joined the band to be a guitar player.
Yeah,
And
that's what I
then
was about to say.
turns out they liked my vocals better than the vocalist, and he was better at guitar than me.
There
So
you go.
we swapped spots. And I mean, yeah, it just I guess speaking of like right now, we get a lot of compliments, and I mean I love the way that mine and Brandon's vocals match up whenever I hit a high and he hits a low, and it's just like a very distinct sound. You know how like when you hear Garrett Russell from Sound playing it, whenever you hear his screams, like immediately, like he could be in a feature in another song, you're gonna know that's him right off the bat.
Right.
Yeah,
Like
that
that's
layer.
what we've been told about whenever Brandon and I match up.
Okay. Cool.
It's just got a distinct sound, and I love doing that. That's something that we do quite a bit. We try not to overdo it, but we probably do
And
anyways.
sometimes on the new album, you guys switch spots.
Yeah,
There's
we
several.
experimented on Bloom a little bit.
I
and,
love that layer where you do the lows and he does the highs. Because it
Yeah,
adds almost a reverse effect to the distinguishable vocal layer that people are used to with this.
yeah. It sounds like
Like
a totally different set of vocals.
Yeah.
Because I don't really do I think I did lows maybe once or twice in the album.
There's like
besides that.
I can't even remember which parts, but when they hit, I know.
Wu Wei.
That's
I
the
know I
layer.
did them in Wu Wei. I did one low in Wu Wei, but yeah, and I mean, ever since like I've known these guys and I've watched them, and then when I joined, like there's always been clean vocals in the mix, and Michael does some cleans too live, and that's primarily like was my strong suit whenever I joined. It was my clean vocals. Like I like screaming too, but like I was like more focused on like clean vocals and playing guitar, but I wasn't that fucking good at playing guitar. I was a half-ass guitar player. Still am a half-ass guitar player. But
Fake it till you make it, baby.
yeah. But yeah, like I guess just I mean it just adds a lot of variety than if there's just like one vocalist doing everything, and it takes a lot of load off whenever we're playing live.
Yeah.
Because like even if like if my part is about to come up and I've been going too hard and I feel like I'm about to fucking barf, I can go slap Brandon on the back and be like,
He kind of knows.
"No, you got to do this part too now, buddy."
Pick up this slack real quick.
Yeah, and yeah, we do that for each other live, and we experiment a lot live too, which makes things really interesting. Like we'll switch things up, I'll do lows where I'm supposed to do highs.
Yeah, I
He'll
do enjoy
highs where
that.
he's supposed to do lows, and we'll just mix and match, and it never really. I mean, we're always cool with how it sounds. Like
Yeah.
I mean, we're just comfortable with it at this point. I mean, with this band in particular, we've never really done anything else.
I'd rather do it that way.
Not
too.
for years,
I'd
for
rather-
you guys, anyways.
I'd rather experiment while we're playing live, at least a little bit, than have the same dead set routine, like step by step. Like, all right, you're going to walk over here at this part of the
Yeah.
song, and
Just the same old
I'm
show
gonna
every
do this.
every night.
I can only flip my stick right before this breakdown or whatever. Like, it feels more comfortable. when
Yeah,
it's just kinda
we just really feel
jam.
everything out, and I mean, I love playing live. I love playing live more than I do playing in the studio or anything. Like,
I
mean,
think that goes without
crowd,
saying.
yeah.
Oh, I hate playing in the studio, man. Too much is on the line when it comes to tracking.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of money involved in that too, so you got to be with it. You know what I mean? 'Cause
Yeah.
time is
Yeah.
money, baby.
Yeah, I mean, even with like doing a live session or something, like I love doing stuff like that. But like, I mean, it's mainly to do with the crowd though. Like, you're feeling them, they're feeling you, and you're just having
Mutual.
fun and going with it.
Yeah, you
not
feed
really
off of them, you
worrying
know?
about too much. Yeah, you're not worrying about like, oh, I gotta sound perfect. I gotta look super cool during this breakdown. You're just doing it, and if it feels good, then
And a lot of
That's
times, at least for me, I know a lot of us, we think the same way, but the crowd's reaction and their energy influences like
Of course, yeah.
our energy and how we play.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
yeah.
I feel more comfortable when the crowd has a positive reaction.
Yeah, or if there's just a bigger crowd, like it's more to feed off of, and usually like it just goes really well. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, we've had very few shows where they've been really bad, but if we like on those shows where we've been really bad, if we feel like we've been really bad, there's barely anybody there, and
I kind of mentally make the decision. I'm like, okay, this is now just a rehearsal.
Yeah.
This is not a show
Yeah.
anymore. We're
Yeah.
practicing live stage rehearsal now. So.
Pretty much.
It definitely is rough. I mean, because I used to be in a band in my younger days, and I used to tour and stuff like that as well. So it's definitely hard when you hear about it all the time. You hear like, oh, well, so such and such band, they would go insane even if there's 3 people in the crowd. And, kudos to those kinds of bands that can do that.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that probably usually will make it through the roughest times of being in a band. But, yeah, it is definitely hard and almost like defeating when you have a crowd of
especially on
like
a
5
tour.
people, Yeah. So,
Yeah, and we'll always start strong. Like we go at it right out the gate like normal, but then like after like halfway through, like they're just kind of staring at you. They just got that dead look, like, God, I can't fucking wait to go home.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well. All right, well, that mic's going to stay on the stand, and I'm going to stand in front of it, though.
just kind of getting through the opening bands, waiting
Yeah,
for the
but if
headliner.
there is like 5 people and they're digging it, then like we're still in it. Like
yeah.
we're still going to win it. Like it's. I mean, we always have a good time playing because we have a good time practicing just by ourselves too. I mean,
And on tour, shows like that are almost your practice for whatever show the next day could be better.
Well, 'cause
Yeah.
it can be hit and miss. One day you could have 20 people, the next day you could have 2,000 people, and it just depends on. There's a lot that goes into it, obviously. The
and on
promotion.
those smaller shows, you can like do some weird shit too. Like you can like just kind of act a fool and like.
Do something you would be afraid to do
Yeah,
to
I can't really
much
think of an
larger
example,
crowd.
but like kind of
No,
step
just get out of the
your
comfort zone.
and-
There you go.
Yeah, and do some weird shit.
It's usually when we get our best photos too, or shows like that where we're kind of doing whatever. It kind of becomes, like I said, a rehearsal or a live photo shoot.
Yeah.
if the stage lights are good, we'll still get some good pictures, even though there's just 5 people there sitting at the bar or something.
You just can't have them. You can't have them going out towards the crowd. You got to go from the crowd view to the stage. Yeah.
You got to get the perspective right.
Yeah, I know that. I know how to work the angles too. So.
Oh yeah.
So you guys recently signed to Sharptone. That was that happened within this whole pandemic situation. So how did that even come about? Like, was that something that you guys were wanting to do, or did that just kind of fall in your lap, or did they seek you out, or did how did that come about?
It kind of fell into our laps, I would say. I was looking through actually our Facebook page manager messages for the band, and you know how Facebook messages has what are they called?
It's like a folder, like a request folder or
it's
something.
a folder, the request folder where the messages won't pop up in your main inbox.
Yeah,
I was sifting through that because usually it's all spam and shit, so I was just deleting all those. And then there was a message from Sean, and I was like, is this real? Like, is this really him? And I clicked on it, and I forgot what the actual message said, but it was pretty much he would love to work with us in the future, and I screenshotted it, sent it to the band chat. Davey sent the same screenshot to our manager at the time, and he was like, that's definitely really Sean. You need to reply to that right now. And the message was like 3 months old.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how
like,
long were you leaving them unread for?
It was about 3 months.
Wow.
And we messaged him back that day, probably that minute, and that's how we got contact with him. He was still interested, and we started from there.
Yeah, and
That's
this
cool.
happened a while ago, but like Shane mentioned earlier, I mean, we COVID put everything on hold for a while because I mean we've been setting up plans and like getting a solid game plan going for a long time, and we just had to kind of wait it out and see what we could do about merch came into play because we wanted to have pre-sales and like the physical copies, which we unfortunately still haven't gotten yet because of COVID. But same thing with the merch. We got the merch though. We just had to wait for like some things to open back up and people be able to do what they need to do. And there was no sense in being like, all right, well, we're signed with Sharptone Records, and then Sharptone Records being like, hey, we signed Curses. We'll give you some material in about 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
We just sat back and planned.
Yeah.
Rather than
There's no sense in that.
So-
make an announcement before.
So you said you were playing and stuff and everything like that. Was that with Sharptone before you guys officially signed, or was that just on your own with your own like management, and your own team?
We were signed to Eminence Records before we were with Sharptone, and that only lasted for 1 year, I believe.
Pretty much the first album.
Yeah, the first album, and then
up to when we started tracking the second album.
Yeah, and then it ended. And the tracking for Bloom started a while ago too, because actually we were only planning on making Chapter 2 a 5-song EP, and because we were tight on money and we wanted to just get something out like
Right.
as soon as possible to keep the ball rolling. And then that's when we found the message from Sean, and as we talked, he was like, well, how about you guys just go back and do 5 more songs and we'll help you get that rolling. And then we can come out with a full album for your debut with Sharptone. And we were like, well, hell yeah, sounds like a plan. And then so we went back to King Studios and knocked the other 5 out like within 2 months or something like
'cause
that.
we only needed, I don't remember what the last 5 were, but all the songs on the album were recorded in very different times, or at least written in very different times. I know the oldest one, our next to last song, Follow the Fire, we actually wrote that at the same time we wrote Rest, our single that we released not that long after
Yeah,
Chapter
that was
1.
in early
2018.
Yeah.
And that song, we'd never actually had a recording of it to put on an album until Chapter 2, and it's the next to last song on the album.
Yep. And then the Door in the Wall, which is the second track on the album, that was the very last song tracked.
Okay.
Like, as we were crunching songs, or as we were crunched on time writing songs and trying to get back to the studio as soon as possible to knock out those last 5, that was the very last one.
That was written
and then it ended
weeks
up being
before.
the one that got the music video, and it's the second track on the album.
Is it because it was the newest song? You were just so about it right then and there. You're like, we have to do it this one.
I mean, that might have had something
I
to do
think
with it.
writing the other songs influences the next song you wrote. So
Of
that's
course, yeah.
almost like that is The Door in the Wall is the product of us writing every other song on the album. Like,
Is
it's
that-
not at all chronological, but that had something. It influenced it for sure.
Is that your favorite song on the album? Or do you have a favorite song on the album? Or
It's
do you
gotta
love
be
them
my
all the
top-
same, you know?
It's in my top 3. Mine change almost.
Whatever your mood is, you know?
Weekly, yeah.
Yeah.
I always love Amethyst, and Breathe is one of my favorites just because the breakdown at the end is incredibly fun to play on drums because it's got a lot of accents and cool shit on the in-betweens, but I change my mind every week on my favorite song.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely in my top 3 out of every song on the album, but I've never really sat down and thought about it. Which ones? It's definitely in the top 3, though. I know that for a fact. I love that song.
And some of the
chorus
songs,
is fun.
like Follow the Fire, we're very used to now. So it's hard to consider that a new song when we've known it for years.
Yeah, we've been playing Follow the Fire for a long time.
So I can't be biased towards The Door in the Wall because it's the most recent one we wrote. So it's got the freshest ears for me.
I can understand that. And usually, I feel like bands kind of just don't like their songs that much anyway because you're so used to them. You kind of like you have this product that you've brought from nothing, obviously, but you've also been working on it for so long that you get tired of it.
Yeah, all that happens. By the time we release an album, I'm so used to it. I'm like, all right, I'm ready for the next one.
Yeah.
What's next?
So you guys did release your album not this month, obviously. It's last month. But it's
just
within
turned to this month.
Yeah, within the
It was a close call.
within the last month you've released a record. Now, how does COVID play into that? Because, like you said, you guys were planning on doing an EP at some point. Was that something that happened before? Were you planning on that before the pandemic and all the shutdown happened?
Well, that was supposed to be Chapter 2. Was the
EP.
Was the EP, and then whenever Sean hit us up, we added those next 5 songs. I mean, as of right now, once we've got the songs written completely, we'd like to do another full-length album for the next one. But we haven't really talked about recording since COVID happened because, obviously it's really just not something that is a main focus right now, getting another album out right off the bat. We're definitely working on stuff right now, but really the main thing that the pandemic has held us back with is the physical copies for the CDs, because we've had our fans message us and like be pissed off. They're like, if you guys aren't making physical copies of the album, then I'm not buying one.
Yeah.
We're like, that sucks. I mean, we're trying to get them like as soon as possible. We will have them eventually. We're still working on that.
And you're not the only one dealing with that either, because like Invent Animate, I think they've been going on with Greyview they've been trying to get the vinyl out at least for a while, and I think it's just now starting to trickle in a little bit maybe, but yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I ordered the Misery Signals. I don't know if you're a fan of Misery Signals, but
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I ordered their newest album on vinyl, and then as time progressed, I was like, oh man, I hope I get it when I'm supposed to get it, But thankfully I did. It wasn't delayed or anything like that. But that was a fear of mine, and it's crazy to think how everyone is planning for everything going forward, because a lot of stuff is just up in the air. Like no one knows when you're going to go back to touring. Could be next year.
This has changed everybody's plans.
Because we've had show offers too. We've had quite a bit of show offers in the past few months. Well, the past couple months, I'll say. But we're just kind of like, we're just not really comfortable with it yet. Like, I mean, we want to play. We want to play so fucking bad.
Of course.
Yeah.
But it's not really worth. I mean, there's greater risk than a reward. I mean, like I said, we know that a lot of our friends and our fans are locally, especially like want to go to a show, want to see us play. I mean, we want nothing more than to do that, but I mean, it's just
safety.
It's
is
too soon,
a big
man.
concern.
Yeah.
For a lot of events right now.
Yeah,
So
and then
you got to do
schools
it
are
right.
opening back up too, and colleges and stuff. And man, like whenever people I mean, I'm not saying all college kids do this all the time, but I mean, like in college towns, like motherfuckers are at bars and they're like, hey,
Oh, yeah.
have you heard the new Curses album? What? Like screaming at each other's faces, just doing that shit.
Particles going everywhere.
Like, I mean, a lot of places we play are at bars too, and like it's just. I mean, if one person's got it, it's gonna be a fucking cesspool, and like we don't want to get it, and we don't want to spread it.
Yeah,
like
you can't scream in a mask, can you?
I don't want
That's
to.
not a thing, is it?
It'd be a little different. It'll sound a little different, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'll just do the things that those Karens do, just cut a mouth hole like when they're eating. You ever
Yeah.
seen people do that?
Oh, yeah.
Put holes out of their mouth.
I've seen a lot of those videos and just like random Karen public freakouts on YouTube where people just
Those are the best.
it's
Oh
great.
my god!
So so you guys are obviously like pro mask people. We had Barney, the singer for Napalm Death. We had him on the podcast last week, and he went out on I don't want to say a tirade, but he definitely lamented his issues with people not wearing masks because he wants to get back out there too. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, that's what we all want, really.
yeah, and I don't personally know if doing something is going to make something happen easier or better, but
Yeah.
like he said, I don't want to be a dickhead and go out in public without my mask. And regardless of what my personal views are on the whole situation, I just want to kind of, ease everybody
never
else.
know.
Yeah,
You
same.
don't wanna
Like
create
if
that
anything,
thing.
if it helps, if it helps 1%, then that's 1% a little bit better.
It hurts.
That
it hurts
probably-
0%. You know what I mean? To do it.
Yeah.
It hurts 0% to do it. So
Exactly. Yeah.
That falls into the idea that if everybody would have just done that from day one, we'd be in a better place now.
Yeah.
You can't go back in time, so you'll never know.
Yeah,
but-
because New Zealand's they're basically back to normal because they had everybody quarantined for a month or two, and then whenever they opened back up, they had everybody wearing masks. No, they did it for 2 weeks. Everybody quarantined, nobody went out. The government brought them shit, I think. I could be wrong about this. I know in the Philippines that the government brought them shit. I got some friends over there. I was asking them how it was going, and they were completely quarantined. Government brought them shit. And
1 month.
Yeah, something like that. But I know in New Zealand in particular, everybody was wearing their masks, and their cases have dropped like crazy. And in West Virginia, we were doing pretty good. We shut down restaurants, going inside restaurants, going inside bars, all that jazz. Stores were closing earlier, and it went from the cases going up to they kind of flatlined a little bit and started to go down, and then they were like, okay, well, I guess we can open back up now.
Yeah.
And then sure enough, back up. And I've been seeing pictures, Like my buddy, he lives in Morgantown, where West Virginia University is. #1 party school in the nation, or it was.
Yeah,
It
it's
has,
always in the top 3.
yeah. Like they're a huge party school. They're the motherfuckers burning couches like every goddamn night.
Yeah.
And I've been seeing pictures of them, like the college students, and it's like they're all gathering at places and right next to each other without masks on and stuff. And I'm like, I mean, I get it. You want to go have fun, but like,
at what cost? You know,
you're fucking it up.
Yeah,
like you're making it harder.
I don't want to be biased towards either side of this, like you said, but maybe we could be more safe and things would get better.
Yeah. I mean,
instead of forcing things to go back to normal, it's not going to go back to normal.
Live streaming is cool and all. You know, I like watching live streams on the bands doing it, but it's not the same. And I'm definitely when I have an issue, like there have been some bands that have charged for their live streams and stuff, and to me, I'm like, I get it. I get the idea behind it, and there has to be some kind of income, some kind of residual effect for the band to do it and to survive. I understand that, but there's bands that aren't doing that,
Charging.
And,
I would at least maybe have I've seen bands have a PayPal donation. Yeah, they'll just have their PayPal link. They're like, hey, if you want to donate and help.
I feel like that may actually get you more. In all honesty, I think because when you go out there and again, I'm talking about bands I grew up loving are charging $15 to watch their live stream. And
I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah, it's
especially
just a little
with my
much.
Bank account right now.
Yeah, and exactly. Not that saying that everyone out there is hurting. Not just the music industry.
Yeah, everybody's getting their own struggle right now. And
it's a little much. And
right after this stimulus, I don't know if that's the next thing people need to be paying, like $20 or whatever for the stream.
If I were in one of those bands who could make a shit ton of money doing that, I mean, watching it live right then and there, that's probably a pretty good idea to charge people to do that. But then as soon as it's over, release it on YouTube and then ask
as
for
a free.
Yeah, I mean, you could.
Because I think that's what DGD did with theirs. It was something like that. I could be wrong though.
Yeah, I ended up seeing it on YouTube afterwards. I didn't watch it live.
Yeah,
I think that's what they did.
I watched honestly, the only one I sat down and was all like, all right, it's time to party. I have a couple of beers here with me, and I'm going to fucking just sit down and watch it. Was the Between the Buried and Me Colors live stream.
Oh, I missed that.
I watched that, but then to rewatch it, you had to be subscribed to their Twitch, which, I mean, it's like $4 or something like that, which is not a lot. But I definitely enjoyed, sitting there, watching it and seeing the chat, although I couldn't communicate because I didn't subscribe to the channel, so I couldn't communicate with anybody. But it was cool to watch, and part of me was like, man, it would be really cool if after they stopped playing, they did like a little, I don't know, Q&A or sit down with the band kind of thing, which they did, but
personal.
It was a different. I think the next day they did another showing of it, and then they did a Q&A, but again, it was only for those behind the paywall. But it's a weird situation, and again, I don't want to sound like I'm shitting all over it or anything like that, because it is a struggle, especially for the industry of that.
Oh yeah, everybody's trying to figure out how to approach this. So,
but there's also ways
trying new things.
There is also ways to put it on YouTube, like you were saying, to where if you get a copyright claim, obviously you're the band, so you can fight that copyright claim or figure it out. But there's all different kinds of things that people are doing. Like a lot of bands are streaming, just in general, not their live performances or anything like that, but everyone's become a Twitch video game streamer or something like that. So.
Or acoustic versions. They do acoustic sets.
Have you guys thought of doing anything like that? Because you guys all do live in the same house, so.
We've talked about Twitch a little bit because, literally everybody in the band except for me, well, you guys don't play as much as you used to, but they would play Fortnite it was their fucking job.
Yeah, our game's involved. It's like a studio. This is our studio room right here, even though you can't see it. There's several screens, several computer desk setups, and it's like a studio by daytime, and then sometimes it just becomes a game room by night.
Well, I mean, a lot of people play video games. I grew up playing video games and still love to play video games. So I find myself watching I watch Keith from Every Time I Die. Sometimes he'll fucking jump on Twitch and start playing video games. And of course,
that's cool.
I like Every Time I Die, but I also like watching video games, and that's like the lamest thing to say as an adult, you know, because like to me, I feel like if you were to tell somebody, yeah, I just like sit around and watch other people play video games,
I enjoy it.
But a couple years ago, you couldn't necessarily say that, and people would be like, "You're weird." But now it's become such a norm because everyone's streaming and such. But we all grew up playing video games with like a friend, and not all of them were 2-player games. You had to sit there and watch the other person play for a while.
Especially the younger
brothers.
That's
a really good comparison. I've never thought about it like that.
Especially the younger brothers.
Yeah.
No, because that's me. Like, I'm sitting, like, I'm always like, I'll be in a rolly chair and watching all those screens and be like rolling to different screens and be like, yeah, go Davey, and I got like a beer in my hand just watching them the whole time, and I'll sit there with them for hours.
It's entertaining.
Yeah.
But it's entertainment in all forms, you know.
Indeed, it's basically live television.
I'm glad there's a market for that now, a streaming establishment where you can do that online.
Yeah, but Twitch definitely opened itself up to more than just video games in the last couple of years too. Yeah. I mean, it used to not be like that, but now you can go on there. You can watch people just talking, just talking.
There's
leather
music.
work.
I know Anthony Green from Circus Survive. He does, at least at the beginning of the pandemic, he was doing acoustic sessions like with his family because he was locked in with his kids and stuff. He had a setup in his basement, and he would do acoustic recordings or streams on Twitch almost every night.
Yeah,
and he probably made a killing from it.
And I've seen people cooking in their kitchen with 3,500 people watching, and I'm just thinking to myself, that's like a big ass venue, man. You know, like I equate it to stuff like that. I'm like, damn, that's 3,500 people just sitting here watching this dude make bread.
When you just see that number, you don't think about it. But until you think about 35,000 people standing there physically watching you cooking something.
Yeah, and you know, sometimes I would get bummed.
Come into the Fillmore this Friday, Paula Dean.
Yeah, banana nut bread. But yeah, there are times where people may get bummed out when they do streams themselves and they have 12, 20 people in there. They might, get down on themselves, but hey, 12 to 20 people in a small enough room looks packed. So,
Yeah, you got to start somewhere too. You can't expect your first stream to have thousands of people.
Yeah.
So
that's something you got to build a following on, I guess.
Of course, yeah. So what are some of the things that you guys are doing to combat, not being able to make, I don't know how much money you make on music in general, but, whatever residual income you have from music, what are you guys kind of doing to replace that? If you don't mind asking.
Our primary income comes from Spotify, so we're pretty lucky in that aspect right now. I mean, people are still streaming. Now, even though everything's shut down, people are probably streaming a little bit more, actually. So that helps a lot.
We kind of just, any money like that, we just put back into our account, and it usually goes towards whatever's next on our list of priorities, be it merch or whatever we need the most next.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much. But like I said earlier, like Shane's playthrough, Davey's playthrough, and then we're going to have a playthrough from Michael come out maybe in 2, 3, 4 weeks, something like that. We've also got another video for our first single, Almost Heaven. That's going to be coming out soon. It's like it's not really a music video, but it's kind of like an informative video. There's like facts about West Virginia and the opioid epidemic because that's what that song is about. Yeah. And we're excited to release that one because that's something that really means a lot to us personally. But like videos, basically, we're just trying to pump out content, really. And we know that we're going to go back to King Studios and do a live session at some point, hopefully in early November is what we might be looking at going in there.
Hopefully.
And if we can get it to be a live stream, then we're definitely going to do that. We were talking about teaming up with some of his buddies who they're good with cameras. I'm not good with words about that kind of thing.
Yeah, we need Brandon here for that. Yeah, they've got a lot of expensive camera equipment.
Yeah, they know what they're doing right there with those things. But we want to get a hold of them. Actually, those guys, I think one of them are the same ones that did the streaming video for Wu Wei. But we're gonna make that a live stream. We haven't talked about how we were talking about maybe just ask for donations or whatever. That's probably what we're going to end up doing. Just maybe ask for donations. We're not really those guys.
Yeah, no, I mean,
But,
and again, I think a lot of people would be more apt to just donate rather than to like, ew, $15. I'm not even going to remotely think about it.
Yeah, exactly. We haven't really talked the logistics of that out yet, but we're definitely going to do some studio sessions for sure. Even if they're not live. I mean, we may have one that's live, and because we've got another studio down in Bristol. It's actually a lot closer to us with our with another one of our buddies. It's Crooked Stick Studios in Bristol, and we've done that. We did a live session with him for Rest a little bit after Rest came out, and we've talked to him about coming back. So, I mean, yeah, just try to pump out content of different sorts, and then like as more ideas come, I mean, we'll see what we can do with them, and just try to keep the momentum up, really. Because I mean, we all work day jobs, and that's like mostly what we've been doing, and yeah, just trying to.
I'm glad we've got enough content.
Yeah, for sure.
Compared to Chapter 1, we didn't have much to release like consecutively after the album was released. It was kind of like, here it is, and then.
Yeah,
we had some videos, but yeah, it was kind of it wasn't what it is now.
We were a lot more prepared for this one,
Yeah.
for sure. Even despite COVID pushing everything back, even before that,
that almost gave us more time to better finalize each of these videos.
Right.
And I don't know. We weren't as rushed, I guess. It set us back though, but we had time to just sit at home and work on stuff.
One thing I talked about a lot in the earlier, this podcast has been going on for a year, maybe almost a year and a half at this point.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Hopefully it goes on for a couple more years, but we'll see.
Man.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that you had a podcast until you hit us up. So I'm glad.
That's usually what's happening. You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm glad we're gonna share it for sure. We're gonna spread the word.
We appreciate it, of course, but. Earlier on, when we were talking about this, not this, but earlier on when I would talk to bands, I would just kind of like ask, like, well, have you ever thought about not having a fan club, but like a Patreon? Because Patreon obviously is a thing that's been going on for the last couple of years, and it's been getting a lot of momentum, obviously, currently with all the situations and stuff like that going on. But like Frankie of Imure tried to do their fan club situation. Everyone took a shit on him about that. And next thing you know, a couple months later, everyone's like, hey, join my Patreon page and, you'll get exclusive content and stuff like that. So, I mean, I feel like that's also kind of something cool that you can do as a band, because it does give the everyday fan a chance to have a more personalized experience with the band that they enjoy. Because, depending on what the Patreon may offer, they may offer like a live stream Q&A or exclusive behind the scenes
like we were
content.
saying earlier, that personalization with your crowd or your fans, that means a lot more than just a performance they're just watching on their phones.
Yeah.
We do have a Facebook group. I mean, we don't get any money from it, but we've got a Facebook group that like we've just specifically added people that we know, like they've come to our shows for years, or they really like us, or we're good
like
friends with them.
Top fans group.
Yeah. We add them to the group. And at some shows, we've like had people like sign up for it and stuff, and we'll add them. And what we do there is like, a lot of it is honestly just us getting fucked up and filming it, because it's usually pretty funny,
especially with the pandemic. We've just kind of
and
there's only so much.
It's not
personal.
just us getting fucked up, but like us like doing certain activities, or just like on holidays or something. Like we had Curses Christmas, and
it's not just promos and formal live videos.
It's seeing us in our natural element.
It's very personal.
Probably a little too personal.
Especially if you're drinking, you get a little more sharey. You share a lot more.
Oh, for sure. Oh my god, it's so much fun though, and everybody really enjoys it. Like we're not inappropriate or anything like that. We're just dumbasses, but we're dumbasses when we're sober too. We're just a little bit more open about it whenever we've had some drinks.
You were talking about the opioid crisis and stuff like that. That's kind of weird you bring that up, because obviously I live in Florida, and that's also a big thing that's been going on here too. And
we're in some of the top states.
Yeah, when you were saying when you were explaining about where you're from, like West Virginia and such, I was like, not a lot of good stereotypes come out of West Virginia for the most part. Mostly probably because a lot of people my age at least watched, that the Dick House, the Jackass guys made the Wild Wides of West Virginia.
Yeah.
Oh,
And, that's some crazy ass shit. But that gives you a little insight onto like even the opioid crisis back then. So.
Yeah, I still love that film too. Like, I love watching it. Like, I hate that that's how some people live. But,
of course.
But it's real.
100%.
Like, it's totally real. And it's like a problem that's not addressed enough. Like, there's been like phases of it. Like 1 minute the opioid epidemic is a trend. Like,
people start talking.
It's like enough people have to overdose in a day, and then it'll make headlines again. And then it's like everybody forgets about it. Like the media and social media both.
It's too common. It's happening too frequently. People get bored and they need a new story.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of old news.
And it's still a serious issue. Like, there's still overdoses, especially like in Cabell County. Like every day, basically every day. I don't know that for a fact if it's like every single day for the past year. I'm not going to throw any statistics out like that, but I mean, it's still an issue, and it has been an issue for a long time, and it damn sure ain't getting any better. And like, I'm sure you feel the same way about it in Florida. Like, it never stops existing.
Yeah, we do have
just because you stop talking about it.
Of course, and I think I don't have any information to back this up, but my conspiracy theory mind would suggest that I'm assuming the pharmaceutical companies pay a lot of that stuff to not be in the news, but we definitely hear.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. We here in Florida had at one point these pain clinics. Like just any and everybody could go in there and get a prescription or whatever, and you could hit
they're
multiple a day. Yeah, you'd hit multiple a day and shit, and that is some scary ass shit. You know what I mean? Just
seriously.
And even if you were to go to the doctor, and they would prescribe you that, and your prescription runs out, and the doctor won't give you another one. Unfortunately, you're already hooked a little bit, and then you gotta hit the streets, so to speak. But
and then you gotta start doing heroin. Like that's the gate into heroin, right?
And then you just bounce back and forth, whichever one is easiest to get.
To consume or to get your hands on.
Because heroin's like 5 times as strong and less than half the price.
Yeah, or you get the fentanyl, and the fentanyl is like way worse than heroin and shit. So it's a crazy time. Yeah. It's crazy that's even allowed, or you know what I mean? Like who thought of that shit?
Who fucking knows? But one thing that's crazy is our one of our previous governors, his daughter owns one of the main suppliers of opioids to West Virginia pharmacies. And if that doesn't
common knowledge, but nobody, it's one of those really obvious things. It's right there if you just look it up, but there's some kind of purposeful misdirection.
Yeah, no one's talking about that.
Yeah, you have to find it yourself.
Well, not to bust off of that topic, but let's bust off of that topic. So,
let's do it.
You had a song "Party Monster." Is that any relation to the actual? I don't know if you saw the movie with Macaulay Culkin, the Party Monster movie. Was that in relation to that, or?
Not at all. No. Actually, we were supposed to do a Panic at the Disco cover. That was the original plan.
That is the original idea.
We
have a roughneck somewhere.
Lying is the most fun.
Okay. ...
So
at least it's off the good album.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. OG.
Yeah. We had a pre-pro for it, all completely done when we got there. Dude was like, you should do something more relevant.
Yeah, not mentioning any names, but he was just kind of like, eh.
Yeah, he was like, nah.
Can we try something else? And we were like, I
wants
guess.
to figure it out, they can fucking figure it out. But
Google.
Yeah, we were just like, God damn it, we worked hard on this. Like we were a little butthurt. But
we had several other ideas already, so we were like, well, let's vote on which one we want to do. We had a Spotify playlist, so we ended up picking that one.
Yeah. So I'm happy with how it turned out. It was, we became bigger Weeknd fans after we recorded that, because I didn't listen to Weeknd at all until we did that, and it worked out because that was our first music video that we had released as Curses too, because And it was totally DIY. Like we just got a few of our photographer friends to come. We basically just threw a house party and gave away free beer from 9 to midnight, and then started filming at midnight.
There you go.
So everybody was already drunk and they were loose and they were gonna have a good time and not just be standing around. And
you guys ready to hear the same
we were
song?
checking IDs and all that too. Like we were doing it legally, and it was just a real easy way to make a first music video that was half-assed decent for being DIY.
Yeah.
And the cover turned out good. And everybody always asks us to play it, and that's like the biggest bug in our ear. Like, play Party Monster.
That's definitely the problem with doing a cover song and it going well. There's bands like obviously Limp Bizkit did Faith, and they were one of the bigger I don't want to say they started this whole thing, but they were one of the bands that took like a regular song, and they were a heavy band at the time, and they turned it into something completely different. So my band, when I was in the band, we did Britney Spears' Toxic had just come out or some shit like that. And so we recorded that, and then of course that became like what anybody wanted to hear at any show, and like
cover.
Yeah, obviously they're like yelling out Toxic the entire show, and I'm like, yeah, we're gonna get to it. Don't worry. But it's kind of one of those things you live and die by, where you either gonna love that you did that or hate that you did that, but still continue to play it.
I love our cover, but it does sometimes irk me how many plays it gets in comparison. The rate of play. I don't know if it's just because the name Party Monster and people, when you search on Spotify Party Monster and you click within the search link, the Weeknd song, when that song ends, it's going to play the next Party Monster in your search.
Yeah.
So I don't know if most of the plays just come from that, or it got added to a bunch of
it was on a lot of playlists.
Playlists, yeah. A bunch of playlists people have made. It got added to,
and that's a bonus too. I mean, but again, a lot. And I'm not saying this happens with you per se, but just unfortunately, a lot of people that do check out that stuff, when they go to check out the band, the band's other music, they're like, that's not really exactly what I'm into that much. But
they're like, I like the cover, but I don't know.
But, the album. I love those. I used to love those Pump Goes Pop albums in the early days, more so when like a heavier band would cover a pop song, because
like back in like Pump Goes Pop, like volume 1 to like 3 or 4, like that's when it was like, holy shit, this is the coolest thing ever.
I gotta pick and choose. Usually, especially with the recent ones, not trying to totally hate on them, but there's usually about 2 covers on.
Yeah, I mean they'll do one. Yeah, they'll do one every now and then, on an album. But it seemed like it started to become like, now this is what I call music. They would just like crank another fucking cover album out every other couple of months or years.
Next?
So it is kind of like daunting just to have those all the time. But I want to state before we get too far off that my band did it way before Static Lullaby or the other. What fucking band did it? Someone else covered. I think Dimmu Borgir covered Toxic or some shit like that, and then that was like 2 years after we did it, and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Damn it. I bet that was so fucking annoying.
Well,
especially that's a very popular song.
Yeah.
So
not only that,
people are going to hop on it no matter what.
The production values on our are the production on our demo compared to the other, like a Static Lullaby or Dimmu recording theirs, far surpassed our quality. So of course it's a much better song to listen to in general, but ours sounded like we sat recording in a tin
fuck
can.
that. You guys did it first. They stole your idea.
It truly matters.
Hey, when it first happened, I was like, oh, that means they must have heard our song, right? One of those bands had to have heard it through the grapevine, but probably not.
You got to check first. I mean, we did that with Party Monster. We were like, has anybody already covered this? And is it really good?
No one at the time had done that for sure. Punk Goes Pop and all that shit wasn't even a thing we're talking like early 2000s is when we covered that song. So
Britney's prime.
Yeah, but that was just one of those goof things that we thought of the day before a show. You know what I mean? And then we played it at that show, and then we were fucked. Something that we just had to keep going. So I was like, we're gonna Limp Bizkit Faith this bitch all the way to the top, but that didn't happen.
I'm glad we're not the only band where that's happened after the cover. It's just like, play Party Monster.
Yeah.
Are you playing Party Monster tonight?
Yeah, it's really our Georgia crowd, like Atlanta and Augusta. Like
They love
like
it.
anytime we go play in Georgia, like that's all we fucking hear is like, why don't you guys play Party Monster anymore?
Yeah. Because we have other songs, guy. Okay.
Yeah. We have a whole new fucking album that came out like 3 years ago. Give it a break.
Yeah.
I had to put the click track for Party Monster in a separate project for Georgia. It was like our Georgia set list, just in case everybody's screaming at us to play it.
Yeah, because we stopped playing.
Somebody
it for
looks
months.
back at me and they're like, "Fine, play the fucking song." I had to make sure it was ready to go somewhere in that project.
Yeah.
Just for
because
Georgia.
we didn't play it for the longest time. Like anytime we played in West Virginia or Tennessee, anywhere like semi-locally to West Virginia, like we stopped playing it for like at least like 3, 4, maybe 5 months, and then when we went to Georgia, like we got a bunch of messages from people saying you guys better play.
I never
Party Monster
practiced.
when you come down here.
I never practice it either. I practice our actual songs. I never practice Party Monster. So when it happens, I'm like, I think I know.
Well, you could just fucking, wing it.
bullshit it through.
Oh yeah, I probably sing the wrong words the whole time, but it's like mainly like chorus, 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 verse, chorus, 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 verse, chorus.
It's borderline pop music, so it's going to be repetitive.
Yeah, it's very repetitive for sure. Before we kind of wrap it up here, another kind of, I just want to get your opinion on like a story like that just broke today, obviously, so it's fresh in my mind. But another metalcore / rock band kind of, fell under the guillotine this morning.
TC?
Yeah.
Cancellation.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Tyler kind of got outed as a kind of sexual misconduct / groomer guy.
That one hit me hard, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how did that affect you guys? Because I mean, obviously, you guys aren't the same band, obviously, but you kind of, moonlight in the same genre for the most part. You could tour together. So
it's really fucking disappointing because I mean, there's like he's not the first, and he's probably not going to be the last. There's been so many fucking bands that have had allegations against them, and like. I mean, that's definitely a big name. Like there's people who know Tyler Carter that don't know Issues. Yeah. Like he's a big guy. He's been a Woe Is Me and shit. Like a lot of people look up to him, and that's
got
just
a solo
really
gig too.
Yeah.
He's been famous for like over 10 years, so it's hard.
Yeah, some of these allegations are coming.
Him.
Some of these allegations are stemming from like 2012, 2014. So yeah, it's
since I was a young teenager, I've always loved every.
It could have been
type
you.
of music he's made. Yeah, and now to look back and all that just be kind of canceled. I can't listen with any artist that this happens to. I can't just listen to their music
if it's
anymore.
been if it's been proven, like, and they like say some shit, like if it's been proven, then I'm like, nah, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like
it ruins the music.
Or if there's like if there's enough evidence, then I'm like, nah, fuck that. But like I will say, like you really never know sometimes, but like. That's what sucks about it is you never really know like how true some of these things are, because I mean it seems like a trend almost right now. I'm not gonna say that like that anybody's lying or anything like that, but it's just confusing, and it's a fucking shame.
Yeah.
It's a real shame because I mean I know for us as we were like growing up in like the music scene, like we were that was our safe space. Like that was our time to go and be who we are.
And a lot of these
feel
people
free and be comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a fucking shame that people went out to shows and to get that same escape that we did, and they get taken advantage of.
Yeah, they get preyed upon or something.
In the worst of ways.
Yeah, they abuse their fame.
That's
and
fucking terrible.
It's hard after, a lot of these people we've looked up to in the past.
Yeah.
It's hard to take all that away.
Yeah.
And be like, wow, this whole time this person was a shithead, like an abuser or whatever, whatever the story was they did.
It sucks too because obviously those people are predators regardless, and it makes sometimes I think like, well, would Tyler? And again, we don't know at right now at this point in time.
Yeah, it's
fresh.
very fresh.
So like, all I've read is he was talking about areolas with some kid who was underage, and that's creepy. But
that's fucking weird.
I I don't know exactly what the extent of what's gone on, but
Usually, like when it's enough for the band, when the band
Yeah.
makes the public post that they are no longer associated with whatever member,
they
that's
can't-
when I'm like, okay, they must know
something else
for a
is
fact.
going on. Yeah, something else.
Yeah, there's more to the story because Lorna Shore did the same thing with CJ McCreery. Whenever, like, because Lorna Shore, I remember seeing the Facebook post. It was like CJ McCreery is no longer a part of Lorna Shore.
That was before I even
That was
knew
it.
any story.
That was it.
Yeah.
Like, it must be true.
Yeah, that was a big one earlier in the year, or late last year, whenever that happened. But yeah,
That like started the chain reaction almost.
oh yeah, this year has been just domino effect, which it sucks, obviously, because there's bands that have just been going under the knife left and right that people have listened to and have have emotional ties to it for certain times in their life, like. A lot of people in the comments for issues were like, "Oh my God, this band got me through so much, yada yada yada," and then now I found out that is a creep. Yeah, so it's a bummer.
I will say I've seen way more like positive comments on Issues Facebook page. Like I was scrolling through the comments, seeing what people were saying, and there's so many people that are like
defending,
nice about it. And defending him rather than like, yeah, fuck this guy. Because usually whenever it happens to a band and then everybody's like fucking hyenas on Facebook.
This guy's canceled. They deactivate their personal Facebook, disappear.
Yeah, they're ruthless. I mean, as they should be, really.
Yeah.
But I was just like, man, like they're really taking it easy on them in these comments here. Like,
yeah, I kind of felt that too, just based on how many through the comments of Lambgoat, obviously, which are going to be skewed regardless, but there were comments on like the band's IG and just on Twitter and stuff like that, because I saw the story break last night, and so we posted it and whatever, but in doing so I also did like more investigations to find out like what the heck's going on, because obviously they're not going to come out front and be like, well, this is what happened, so you have to kind of,
they're not going to show the screenshots. They're going to be from something external.
And then of course you go to those Twitter accounts or whatever that released whatever screenshots or said their piece or whatever, and they're private. So you're like, what the hell? How do I find out anything? And so it's just crazy.
Yeah, because you're just in the dark.
Yeah, and everyone is in the dark, obviously. And I agree that cancel culture can be totally fucking negative, and I don't like cancel culture for that, because a lot of people do just jump on emotional. When you see something, right away you have an idea of like, bullshit,
the first thing they read. They make the decision before they even know the story.
Yeah, and then some people won't even research the story. Or if the story is posted, like let's say you see a headline and there's a story and explaining the headline, and the headline may be a little clickbaity or whatever, and then they just go off the headline. They're like, fuck, and then
they won't even click on the actual article. They'll read the headline, share it.
Oh yeah,
what a shit.
Yeah, that's a major problem with social media, like in many aspects.
I agree, but again, there is a good and a bad thing that is going on with that. Obviously, a lot of the bands are, like I said, getting cut by the knife, and it's a domino effect, but. I also see it as going forward, fucking people are going to have to be hyper vigilant and hyper attentive to like how they portray themselves, because like
it's going to force the right people.
Right. Because you're going to lose some of the like the predatory kind of people, like, and again,
people that deserve to be exposed should be exposed by all means, and it's setting the bar higher for musicians, which is really good, which is awesome. I mean, because I could see how a lot of artists, if they get in a band and they blow the fuck up, and then it all goes to their head and they think they can do whatever the fuck they want.
They think they're invincible. They can
bullshit,
and that's when the true bad side of these people.
Yeah, and it's good that people, if anybody from a band or whatever has hurt anybody, then they deserve whatever punishment is suitable for the situation. But shut up, Siri. Phone's going on for some reason. But it's.
I don't want it to cancel like the full band when it's just one member. I don't want the whole band canceled. I feel bad for the other members.
But if the other, and I'm not saying they do or they didn't or whatever. Tyler's his own person. If they knew about it or something like that, it's like,
That's when it's fun.
what do you do? You know what I mean? So,
and that's something that you never really know. Like,
and I'm not talking about just issues in general. I'm talking about any band. that
Yeah,
gets called.
any band.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just using them as an example, I guess.
Yeah, there's a jam band that I listen to called Knocko Medicine for the People, and like they were one of my favorites, one of my favorite bands of all time. Listen to them like almost every damn day, and the same shit happened to their singer, and he took months to say something, and I actually just recently looked it up like a few days ago to see if he like came out with any statements or anything, and he did. But I remember the first thing that happened whenever all this stuff started coming to light was his band. Like I said, they're like Knocko Medicine for the People. Knocko's the leader. He's the face or whatever.
Yeah.
The band, it was like, okay, this is from the band, Medicine for the People. We didn't know about any of this, him being rude to girls or whatever allegations that had been stated or whatever. But yeah, it was really discouraging. And if the band did witness misconduct or whatever, abuse, whether it's mental or physical, then
if they turned a blind eye,
fuck the band too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the whole band should be canceled.
Yeah, but I mean, it does suck for the band in a lot of cases where, like, I mean,
for the innocent members that did not have any idea.
Yeah, it didn't. They're doing other shit, like
especially
whatever.
if the accused party is like a big part of that band. I don't want to keep using Tyler.
Yeah, like Tyler.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
I don't want to use him as an example all the time, but obviously he is a very polarizing and captivating person in that band. Not to shit on the other members, but
I mean, no, that's just how it is. He's the face of the band. Like not every band has like the one guy that everybody thinks of, but I mean, hell, you think Falling in Reverse. You know the drummer's name?
No.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know the vocalist's name?
Yeah. We know. I think everyone knows it.
Yeah. Not like I said, not all bands are like that,
Yeah.
but I mean, Issues is definitely one of them, and that's why they're a great example.
Like you said, when it's the face, when it's the true face of that band, is when it hits the band the hardest.
Yeah.
And it's almost like, do we even continue as Issues? Like, are they talking about?
I don't.
Right now?
I'm sure they're talking about a
Issues
lot.
would be too ironic. They can't. There's no way.
They should pivot on the name.
We've had some issues in the past few months, but we're back, and this is our new vocalist.
And we are Issues.
It's like we're out of here.
Yeah,
Fuck
you know,
this.
it's crazy how often it's coming up, you know what I mean? But, like, the first time I kind of had to deal with anything kind of remotely like that, obviously it was way long ago. There was a band, I don't even know if you guys know the band, but Lost Prophets, they were like an early 2000s band from England or the UK or somewhere, and they had this album, Future Sound of Progress was the album, and I fucking really loved that album. And then they had a couple other albums after that I kind of didn't listen to as much, but they got very big commercially, and they ended up, you know, being on like video games and fucking all this other shit. Next thing you know, fucking the singer is shooting meth, heroin, and fucking kids and shit, and doing weird shit, and it's just like, what? But, you know,
it destroys everything.
Yeah, but you also don't. I mean, that shit had gone on for so long before anyone fucking knew about it, you know. And no one had. This was the time before cell phones and before like tweeting and just fucking cameras being readily available all the time. And, you know, I think not just with the music scene and with what's going on about what we're talking about, but in the world, I think we're starting to see. That's why so many people are posting whatever about whatever situation, whether it be police brutality.
Yeah,
or this,
I'm
that,
glad that this is making people that have been closed on this and have been
and further
putting this sweeping this under the rug. It's almost giving people confidence to come out.
Yeah.
Yes.
It also gives you the
Yes.
ability, because everyone has. I mean, if you think about it, even within the last 5 years, not everybody even had a smartphone with the camera. You know what I mean? And that's also like that's 2015. So in your head, you're thinking like, oh, we've had these cell phones for fucking 20 years, but not everybody. You know what I mean? The iPhone wasn't readily available like it is now. So it feels like the tides are turning on that, to where no matter what's going on in the background, you know, you got to fucking tread lightly on anything you do in your personal life or public or private. So, This is crazy. I mean, it's for the better
Shit.
overall.
I mean, if you're an asshole, then you're an asshole, and you deserve
It's a
whatever's
lot
coming
harder to
to you.
hide.
Karma's gonna bite you in the ass one way or another.
Yeah.
But I mean, as far as that situation, I'm glad that it's coming to light because I mean, hell, it's like we were talking about the opioid crisis. I mean, just because you don't talk about an issue isn't going to make it go away.
It's still there.
And I'm glad that people are speaking up now, especially the victims that are for real, because they shouldn't have to carry that weight on their shoulders, and just because it's like, oh well, that's so and so. I don't want to cause any trouble there. Fuck that. No, if you've been seriously hurt, then whoever's responsible deserves to be punished in whatever way is suitable for the situation.
Their fame does not determine.
And backlash, and backlash is a real thing too, especially when we're talking about shit on the internet. Like we were just saying, fucking, there's more than a handful of fans of issues that are willing to fucking go to bat for Tyler right now without knowing anything.
Before they know, it's like
and so they're
blind ignorance.
They're shitting on the victims, and there's victim shaming and this, that, the other, and it's gross to see. But again, we don't know the situation, the three of us here, so we don't know exactly what's going on. But we kind of have an idea, So
yeah. Like I said, when the band makes an official statement, that's when I'm like, okay,
you gotta go,
I'm looking into this now.
It's not just the rumor mill, I guess. But
nah.
Well, let's get off the fucking shitty topics. Let's just go ahead and kind of end this over. Let's just go ahead and end this real quick. So, what is another positive streak? What is the plan going forward for you guys as a band now that we spent the last 30 minutes talking about bullshit in the world? But
I mean, shit, man. It just depends on what happens with the virus. I mean,
plans have changed. We've had to change the whole release plan, and
we definitely plan on releasing more content as of right now. But moving forward past that, I mean, eventually we are going to be touring again. That's definitely something
waiting on that.
We can't wait for.
Always writing.
Yeah.
We're still already starting to work on new materials.
Yeah, for sure. We've already got some stuff in the works there.
Do you have an idea of maybe when you might want to release a new record? Because obviously you're not going to be able to tour as much as you'd like with the record you just put out. Because like we said earlier, you may wait. Who knows when we're going to go back to shows? It might be 21. It might be 22. You never know. But
it's hard to tell.
I mean, if that's the case, then I mean that just means more time to write, and I mean, just the sooner the better, really. I'm not going to say a specific time, but as soon as possible and as necessary. Like I said, the sooner the better. Maybe release some more videos or something in the meantime. Just keep content rolling and just make this as fun and enjoyable for ourselves and for our fans and
keep
our friends.
Contact,
just however we can keep the ball rolling and keep Curses alive and healthy and strong.
I wonder how it will affect bands going forward because they will have, at this point, they're going to at least have a year off from touring and at least a year out of being, the main focus of a fan's life because there's I feel like a lot of people are approaching it. Music differently now. It's I didn't realize how many shows I went to on a weekly basis in general until the fucking shit stopped.
Until everything's gone. Yeah.
And if it goes on for another year, am I personally going to be right back into that schedule of going out to shows all the time? Not saying every day, but or am I going to get used to just being not going out, not going out? You know what I mean?
It's hard to determine how it's going to come back. Like I was saying earlier, way earlier in the podcast, I don't think it's going to be all right, starting this date, we're going to have shows again, everywhere, every venue, and it's just right back to normal.
Yeah.
Like you said, multiple shows a week. It's going to be some kind of slow build up, but it's hard to determine the safe point to start bringing that back.
Are people going to be? Are people going to, I mean, obviously everyone wants to go to shows, but are they going to be scared to go because they don't, you know what I mean? Because, I mean, a lot of people, depending on where you stay on this fucking COVID thing, a lot of people are deathly scared of it, and some people are like, it's a fucking hoax. So there's definitely going to be people that are going to come to shows right away. But
oh yeah,
you know what I
There's
mean?
opposing views, but like, is it going to be safe in the pit? Like that's question one. Can you get someone's sweat all over your shirt?
yeah. Like
spat on.
I don't want to punch this guy and make him sick. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd hate that for him.
But he can take that punch. I just don't want to get him sick, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. Punch is fine. I mean, he can punch me back. It's cool. I just don't want to get him sick. You know, I don't want him to get me sick.
Yeah, you got to get in the pit and love someone. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
All right, guys.
Tough.
Well, I appreciate it. Do you guys want to give like a shout out or let us know, you know, who we should be checking out, or you know, any projects that you got going on the wayside that you like everyone to know about, or?
Yeah. Well, what you said Tuesday? Would this coming Tuesday? Is the roundabout date?
I think the 8th or something, right? The 8th, maybe.
Yep. Okay. Well, so as of then.
I should also say it will go up for Patreons before that, though. So just in case you're gonna say some like shit that needs to be
The
dated.
video's out now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
they may tweet about it or something like that. You know what I mean? And leak it.
We had an interview right at the release I messed up on, and I didn't realize the interview was going to be out a week later. And I was like, our album's about to come out tomorrow. And then by the time the interview was up, the album had been out for like a week and a half.
Yeah.
And I felt stupid.
Well, I don't want you to get
Shit.
I don't want you to get in trouble with like the label for fucking saying something beforehand. You know what I mean? I'm just giving you an idea of this will be out on next Tuesday, but it will also be up days before for Patreon supporters.
Okay. Well, I think as of right now, tomorrow. I think is that whenever the guitar playthrough comes out. Thursday.
September 3rd is Thursday? Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so on September 3rd.
Say numbers.
This is tomorrow right now. September 3rd, we're releasing a guitar playthrough of Davey, Nice Wonder playing Amethyst. And, I mean, we've got a lot of content out right now, so just check it out. Go to Sharptone's YouTube, search Curses. I mean, you can just search Curses and you'll find it on YouTube. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that fun stuff. We want to give a shout out to our boys at King Studios, good old Justin, Ryan, and Ant. They're the shit. They're awesome. Their studio's great. It's a really fun work environment.
They've helped us a lot.
Yeah, we love working with those guys. Mishka Clothing out of Los Angeles. They hook us up with some really awesome threads. So check them out. And just check us out on Spotify, Amazon, iTunes, whatever you use.
Stream that new album on everything possible.
Oh yeah.
We'll put the links in the description as well, so it won't be as hard for people to find you if they have trouble finding you.
Yeah, down there, guys.
Yeah.
Just go down there.
Well, I
Awesome.
appreciate
Thanks so much.
you guys taking the time to fucking hang out with me on this Tuesday afternoon. So I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having us. Good to be on the phone and on the video chat with
Skype.
somebody in the same time zone as us.
Hey, that's all. Yeah. The last one we did, it was from the UK, so I had to wake up like extra fucking early. So that was a bummer.
We had some 9 a.m.s. 10
Yeah,
a.m.s.
I know what you mean, man.
It's early for me.
I got you. All right, guys, take it easy.
All right,
Hey,
thanks for
likewise,
having us.
man.